this is going to be the scene in my warrior comic book, which is going to be depicting mounted warriors and horses attacking a village. So this particular panel is an introduction piece. It means that for the very first time in the book, you're going to see 3 major characters all at once. It was very important for me to show all their faces, their significant armor and weapons to make them as impressive as possible. One of my favorite movies is The Age of Innocence from Martin Scorsese, and there's a scene where the camera depicts a painting, a very wide panorama, and as the camera movements go and go and go, it seems like it never ends. And when I saw this scene, the painting that was so wide, I knew that one day I want to do something like that. So perhaps somewhere in my subconscious I had that stored, and when I was working on this, it's just manifested and creating my own wide panorama. The right way how to approach to the painting is first you're gonna do a sketch. You have to realize how different shapes gonna take form, how they're going to interact with each other, what things gonna be placed and where. Then you do a value study. You need to realize where the light is coming from, how the light and the shadow are going to be placed. You're kind of making a blueprint for the future final product painting. I don't do any of that. The way my mind works is that it's just sending me one or few pieces of information at a time, just like it gives me like small puzzles, which around create the whole painting. Face is the beginning and the end of each of my painting, meaning if the face looks good, I continue and paint the rest of the world around it. If the face is not correct, it's not worthy of me to even continue. The first steps goes directly to the face. In this case, the face of the major character, her name is Ro. All I knew is that she's going to be somehow sitting on a horse in a very dramatic way, and she's going to be slaying an enemy. She has to have the struggle in her face, not only to be beautiful and sexy as usually artists do these warriors, but you have to feel struggle because the movement is not easy and what she's doing takes some energy. Her likeness is inspired by the actress Alicia Carey. Her permission I'm going to ask once the book is going to be ready. And the way how I usually work is that if I need some expression, I go online and search for the screen captures of the TV show. Sometimes I'm doing those screen captures myself and find the most similar to the one that I want to portray. But there's only a certain number you can find. In this particular way, it was nothing there. What I did was to do a photo of my own face, just to figure out the muscle structure, how the light interact. And then I found multiple pictures of her in a similar expression. Then I did a mashup of me and her, so I changed my eyes, my nose, my chin, my lips, and voila, that was the face. Once I had the face that I was satisfied with, then I could start to build a world around it. Costumes are a great tool to say a story without actually telling words. With the certain details on the costumes, you can see where this character is coming from, what kind of life they are living, etc. When I watch periodical movies from ancient or medieval times, you very rarely see that these costumes are accurate. The people who study history, they will tell you how colorful and beautiful the history is. And instead, Hollywood is giving us this bluish cold filter that just erases the beautiful culture. You go to the remote areas, to the steppes, to Mongolia, to Tibet, to see how the tribes and to nomadic people live. All you see, it's a blast of colors. And I knew that I want to capture exactly that. The problem with the colors is, if you're gonna do too much of them, it's gonna distract the viewer's eye. It's gonna be harder to read the outlines and the composition. All these characters are different. What they have in common, it's similar color palette. Let's start with row. Red, orange, green, gray, brown. The character of the victim, brown, gray, orange, green. Character of Taras, brown, orange, red, orange, red, green, orange, brown, orange, red. This is the way how I can make the painting colorful but coherent at the same time. Row. Coming from Sarmatian tribe, for those who do not know, ancient tales of Amazons, they are based on Sarmatian women. I was thinking I really wanted to give her a space for development. Therefore, I didn't give any of the characters too much costume, too much armor at the beginning, because they're going to obtain it or steal it as more and more wars they're going to wage. So right now, what you really see is light weaponry. For her, I was thinking, what is the first armor I would like to have? At that time, bow and arrow were the most used and most common weapons. So I would like to have my head covered. The weapon of her choice is an axe. The reason for it is it's way lighter than a sword. For her, as a woman, it would be way easier to manipulate it and basically to fight with it. And also, she has a slinger right here. XATIA is coming from a different tribe, from the tribe of Scythians. They are well known for their pointy heads and for their skills of an archery. That is the reason why she is depicted with a bow and arrow. You know, in this period, even women were fighting, but not hand-to-hand combat, because it would be probably very risky fight when the woman is fighting with a man. They were doing this damage from the distance. Scythians were known for depicting animals in their attire, in their jewelry, so you're going to see a lot of it. Taras, also coming from Sarmatian tribe, he is well known for his skills with the sword, so that is the weapon of choice for him. You can easily detect him by the horn helmet, which is also an archaeological find. Since he is the most skilled warrior from this group, he's going to have the most armor that he stole or obtained it in other ways. He had helmet and he already had some armor on his chest. If we would like to go on surface, this painting is about these three major characters who are trying to free a neighboring village from a tyrant chieftain. If we would like to go way deeper, we will find that the meaning lies somewhere else. Every painting that I produce touches a certain period of my life, and they are extremely personal for me. I can look at every painting and I can tell you what happened at that time. When I finished the character of Ro and I started to paint the character of a victim, don't know why, cannot explain. Somehow I felt that I'm painting not the victim, but the character of a past self. I was using myself also as a model, so maybe you don't see it because it has a beard and it looks like a man, but it's me in costume. Again, didn't know why I was feeling like future me killing my past self. Then, as I was finishing the painting, I went through one of the most difficult periods of my life, a death of a loved one, and other things. And then I realized that the only way I have to go through all of it is I need to let certain things go in order to come at peace with certain feelings, with certain moments. This piece, the meaning of it, is about continuation of the journey. As long as I have a vision, I can carry on. And the struggle you see on the faces of these characters, it's a struggle of my life. But they're fighting for what they believed in.